Welcome back to the channel, guys. We are back at Run4Adventure with another shoe review, but it is a shoe review with a difference. We are going to run a shoe today. We are going to give you our first impressions of a shoe. It's a super quick shoe, so we've come on location, we've come to a running track. We are going to do a speed session in the shoe because that's what it's built for, but we haven't come to just any old track. We have come to this track. Yep, that's a pretty impressive view from a running track, and we are in Chamonix, the mecca of trail running, and we are here for UTMB week. And while we're here, we thought we'd take this great opportunity to get in the Hoka Carbon Rocket and give it a good workout at this beautiful running track. So we ran the MCC a few days ago, so the legs are still feeling a bit heavy, not too bad considering, so we're going to give this session a good go. We're going to be running a pyramid session, so we're going to do 300 meters, 600 meters, 1200 meters, 600 meters, 300 meters. The reason we're doing 300 meters, the track here at Chamonix isn't a 400 meter track, it's a 300 meter track. So we're going to see how it goes, we're going to see how the legs hold up to the track session. Obviously, if we start to suffer a bit, we might cut it short, but let's get running and see how the session goes. In between the reps, we're going to have a 30-second jog recovery. We're obviously going to do a bit of a warm-up in a second. We're going to do a couple of miles warm-up, get the legs loose before we start any real serious effort. And today we are running in the EVO Carbon Rocket. It's the first time in the shoes, really excited about the shoe, wanted to run it for a long time, finally got a chance to get my feet in it, and this is the perfect environment for it. So we're going to go for a warm-up and we'll be back to tell you a little bit more about the shoe. That is the warm-up almost done. Legs are feeling okay, shaking them off. We are going to have a bit of a stretch off. We'll just give you a few specs and facts about the shoe. It's not going to be an in-depth review, but it's going to be more like a first impressions of a shoe. And to be fair, these first few laps of the warm-up feels pretty damn good. So that is the warm-up done, so let's tell you a bit more about the shoe we're going to be running in today at the track. So it is the Hoka EVO Carbon Rocket. It is definitely a shoe for speed, a race shoe, but to be fair, them first few miles as a warm-up, it felt like a shoe I could use for a bit more mileage. Anyway, so the Carbon Rocket runs off a 2mm offset. It comes in at 218 grams, so a pretty low offset and a pretty low weight when it comes to a highly cushioned race shoe. The Carbon Rocket carries the Hoka ProFly midsole, so we got the dual composite midsole, and it also has an internal carbon plate through that midsole. So it gives you a real kind of springboard effect through that midsole, very similar to the Nike 4% or Next Percent or a few other carbon plated shoes on the market. Also, pretty stripped back tongue, so not a lot of cushioning on the tongue to again keep that weight down. Nicely cushioned around the heel cup, and it also comes with this engineered light mesh, so it gives you that really nice breathable upper. So like we said before, it's not going to be an in-depth review like we normally do on the channel. We will do an in-depth review further down the line, but for now it's going to be first impressions. So let's get this shoe on our foot and let's get stuck into this track session, and we'll let you know how the shoe feels and how we feel about it afterwards. Right, so that's the warm-up and the stretching done. Body feels loose, so let's hit this first 300 meters. You can definitely tell we're at over 1,000 meters. I forgot about the thin air. This is going to be tougher than I thought. 30-second recovery done, 600 meters. So tough in this thin air. Obviously with heavy legs as well. way harder than I thought. Right, quick recovery. That's 30-second recovery done. Now for the long one. I'm dreading this. 1,200 meters. That's 1,200 meters. The shoes are feeling great, super quick. It's just my lungs and legs that are letting me down. The MCC is definitely still in my legs. Anyway, just 600 and a 300 to go. 30 seconds cool down. 30-second recovery done. 600. Awesome. Just one 300 to go. I'm very happy about that. First speed or track session at altitude, and my God, it hurts. No wonder it's a good thing for fitness. So 30-second recovery done. Last 300 meters. Let's get this done. Thank God that's over. It is a beautiful track and a beautiful view. The shoes felt great, but I always think when you think you're done, it's good to just add one more. So we're going to do one more 300 and really push it this time. So one 300 meters for luck. Definitely it. So we've just done a couple of miles, cool down, we just had a stretch off. So what is our first impressions on the Hoka On A Carbon Rocket? First things first, this is definitely a quick shoe. That carbon plate in the midsole, you really feel that spring from that carbon plate. You know, I'm actually really surprised how much you feel it, especially when you're on a track which is pretty bouncy anyway, especially when you're up on your toes doing speed work. Super responsive, and you really do feel like you're getting a spring off that carbon plate. Level of cushioning, fantastic. You know, for what they class as a race shoe, this has still got a pretty deep midsole when it comes to cushioning. Not as deep as some of the Hoka shoes, but obviously this is built for speed, so you've still got a real good connection to the ground, but you've also got a pretty plush midsole, which I personally feel from the first run, you know, great for speed work, great for 10Ks, but you know, I could happily run this up to marathon 50K. Really good level of cushioning for a race shoe. When it comes to the upper, this engineered mesh, really light, really breathable, really hugs the foot, really holds you at the midfoot. I would compare it to the fit, very similar of the initial Tracer. So the first Tracer, one of the best shoes I think I've ever run in. I ran it speed work, 10Ks, I ran it up to 12 hours. Lots of distances in it. It was really responsive, really well cushioned, and a really nice fitted shoe. This felt very similar. Obviously you've got that added carbon plate which gave it a bit more spring, but it really did feel like I was running in that original Tracer, which has really made my day because I love that shoe. And unfortunately when Hoka changed it to the Tracer 2, I never really got that feel again. So really nice fitting shoe, really breathable upper. To bring it to a conclusion, like I said, it's not an in-depth review. We just wanted to let you know how we felt about our first impressions running in the Carbon Rocket. And our first impressions are all good. Super comfy shoe, really responsive, very quick. All you want to do is try and run quick in it, even though I couldn't really manage that today with the heavy legs and the thin air here at 1,000 meters in Chamonix. But you really want to run it quick. Responsive, cushioned, springy, light, breathable. Very impressed with this shoe. It's definitely a shoe I'm going to be doing a lot of my road work in. Like I said, Hoka kind of angle it as a race shoe. but I could see myself doing a fair bit of training in it. I'm used to a low heel, so the 2 mil offset doesn't bother me, and it's got a really good level of cushioning, so it's not like your standard stripped back racer that I would only use for race day or track work. I can see myself doing a lot of mileage in this, and I would definitely run this shoe up to marathon distance. Also, we'll give you a quick update on the legs. They were feeling heavy. This is the first time I've done any speed work at any elevation, and I was really surprised how hard it is to get oxygen in when you are a bit higher up. Obviously, legs are still heavy from the MCC, but I think the thin air had a lot to do about it too. We will be doing a full review on the shoe, so we'll get another 100, 150 miles in the shoe, and then we'll do a full review on the Carbon Rocket so you can see how I really feel about it and how it's held up to mileage. So that is a wrap on our first impressions of the Hoka One Carbon Rocket. It is a beautiful day in Chamonix, the sun is shining, you can see that epic backdrop. We are loving our time in Chamonix, and we thought it was a great opportunity to get to the track. Always wanted to run on this track, and doing the shoe review was a perfect opportunity for that. So good being back in Chamonix. It's such an active place. There's been guys running around the track all morning, kids out here. I'm sitting here, there's paragliders all over the place. You can see the mountaintops, awesome place. So we're going to enjoy our day. We're going to head back into town. It's still early in the morning. We're going to grab some breakfast. Really hope you enjoyed this first impressions review. If you did, hit the like button. Any comments, if you've got any comments about Hoka as a brand, or about the Carbon Rocket, or about Chamonix, coming out to Chamonix or the track, please leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We'll leave a link in the description if you want to find out any more about Hoka One or about the Carbon Rocket. Please click that link and check it out. Time for some breakfast. So as always on Run4Adventure, stay safe and keep on running.